Good evening from Australia. It's Jamie here from YouTube Court. I'm running solo, but I do have a guest with me. Before I introduce the guest, it's still early night here in Australia. It hasn't hit midnight here yet. It's still Sunday night. And with the time differences between us and the rest of the world, you guys could be just waking up, getting yourself ready to go to church or whatever you do on a Sunday morning. Maybe you're making breakfast. We'll make that breakfast. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Sit down, relax, because we got an exciting case to talk about here. I'm going to introduce this person. Yes, I am going to say her first name because I know this person, and we have spoken many times in the past, and even just now. Her name is Brenda Becker. Many people know her as BB. But I'm saying her name because I know this person. And we're going to talk over what has just occurred over this last week about this protection order that's been put on her. And then we're going to talk about the stress and the strain it's put on her family. And we're going to go through some life experience, what she's been dealing with as well. So I'm going to hand the microphone over to Brenda in just a moment. But just before I do, I've got something to share before we do it, because this will give us a bit of a platform to what we're actually talking about. So let me just screen share something very quickly. What you see here on the screens, ladies and gentlemen, it's a protection order that's been put on place on Brenda here. Now, the reason why we're showing this is because the person that put the protection order on her stated in an episode on her channel that Brenda is violating her protection order by owning guns. As you can read here, it does not state that she can't carry or turn over guns, because if you look at the box below number 8, it's not even crossed off. It's an open box. If Brenda wanted to not be allowed to own or possess a firearm, shouldn't it be written by the judge that made the order onto the order? Shouldn't the judge therefore place it? Now, number 8 says this: the respondent, which is Brenda, shall not possess, use, carry, or obtain a deadly weapon at any time. But it's not marked off. The only thing that is marked off and it's in place is number 7. See the box there? Number 7's got a cross on it. The order states in number 7, the respondent, which is Brenda, shall not cause or engage in any person to do an act prohibited by this order, which means that she's not supposed to harass, stalk, intimidate, or do any of that nature according to the protection order. Here in Australia, a protection order is very, very similar to a restraining order. Right? So I'm going to take this off screen share, unless you want me to keep it up, Brenda, for if you want to
talk. No, you could leave it up. I would like to leave it up because it will help your audience understand what this conversation is going to be about.
Right.
So as we're talking about it.
Right. So the first question is, are you currently violating your protection order?
No.
Right. Continue.
Okay. I'd like to elaborate here on what you're seeing on your screen, in particular, number 8. Number 8 does not have a box. It's a stated fact. It does not need a box or a yes or no question. It is the law. And that's why there is no box and there's no question about it. I cannot possess or own a firearm. The box below number 8 is not checked because I do not own or possess a firearm. And that's why it's not checked. If there was a registered firearm in my name, that box would require a check. So that's what it's kind of hard to understand why that box underneath number 8 is not checked. But there's no reason to check it if I do not possess a firearm.
Right.
So
I just want to just jump in very quickly to ask you a question on number 8. Do you currently obtain or own a firearm in your house?
I cannot have a firearm in my house before.
Yeah,
now let me finish.
Yeah.
I could not have a firearm in my house before this protection order.
Right. But
I would not go and have one after this protection order. For the same reason, I was not able to have a firearm in my house before the protection order.
So basically, you do not own a firearm as we speak right now?
No, there are no firearms that would be allowed in this house for a particular reason.
Right. So the person that made this personal order, protection order, has claimed on her channel when she went live a couple of days ago that there was a gun, whether it was owned by you or your husband, that is on the table inside your house. Can you clarify that to make sure it's false?
I would like a picture or evidence of it, but there is no table with a gun on it here.
Right.
There wouldn't be. For number one reason, we have children in the house. I would not, if there was a firearm, I would not leave it on a table with children around. Duh. What kind of person would do that?
Right.
Is that responsible? Is that a responsible gun owner who would leave a gun on a table with children in the house?
Right. Because when Eric showed this in a brief video on YouTube, Court, as you know, the person that made this protection order did another video on her channel and saying that Eric got it mistranslated and didn't get the fact right. It all comes down to the legislation in the state where it was made. Can you address what the law is, and does this law abide to all the states of America?
No, Jamie, I can't answer that question, but I do understand that laws are different in every area, and this person is on the other side of the map, different state. It depends what the protection order is for, but I think it's standard federal law. If we look up that statute code that's seen underneath number 8, I think that should answer the question. And when you look that up, there is a clause on there that says that the individual needs to consult with an attorney.
Right.
All right, to clarify whether this law would apply to them. There are certain instances where this law does not apply, and I think that would be law enforcement or anyone in government who normally has the right to carry a firearm for their job.
Right.
Yeah, I think that there are special clauses for those individuals. However, that
Because-
does not apply to me. So,
Right, because the reason why I asked that question, and the same Eric would too, if it was not written or ordered by the magistrate or the judge, in this case, the judge, if it was not ordered by the judge that you shall not possess or carry a firearm, right? Therefore, the person who made this video a couple of days ago is a liar. It's a dead set liar. This is
well,
what Eric and I have said. If the judge did not put this down on the protection order, saying that you cannot own guns, he's taken away the second. Basically, what I'm saying is the person that is making this false allegation is trying to weaponize it, saying that you don't have a Second Amendment right. If it's not on the protection order. If the judge did not order it on the protection order, the person who's making these accusations on her video is a liar.
well, Jamie, I can't make that determination. I did not see the video. I did not. It's something that doesn't pertain to me. This is YouTube drama.
We understand that.
Okay,
I
now
get that.
I'm going to go through this again. Number 8 is the rule and the law I have to abide by.
Yeah.
And there's no question about it. There's no question about it.
And as you can see, there's no box there.
The box under number 8 is not checked because if they ran my name, they will not find a firearm registered to me. And also, let's create a scenario. Okay, now I'm going to kind of dramatize something.
Right.
I'm going to create a scenario so people understand. If there was between me and another person a conflict, a confrontation, even a physical, this would have to be a physical confrontation, and we got into a fight and a firearm was involved, there would be a reason to check number 8.
Mm-hmm.
That was not my situation. So there was no reason to check number 8.
Right.
Or the box underneath number 8, rather. Sorry about that.
The box.
See, there was, and that was not my situation. So there's no reason to check it.
Right.
It is on file. Now, and another thing, the history of this death threat involved my sheriff, who knows our situation better than the internet people, because he's in my real life. There are certain things that I do, the way I live, and what I do in my real life that required law enforcement to be involved in my life. Law enforcement in my local area had to be called in the past because I had housed people here that you can't have a firearm around them. You can't. I can't have a firearm in my house and do what I do. It's a question that I always must answer if I need law enforcement to help me in a situation. The question is there a firearm involved? And no, and that has been on file in my county for years before this protection order ever existed.
Right. Now, how long is the protection order in place for? Or
I don't know. I don't really know. And you know, I don't care. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And these are internet people, and they think things and they don't even know what is going on in your life or what you're doing, but they assume things, and that's their answer. That's how they depict things. I can't change that. I cannot change the way someone else thinks or believes what they see.
Right.
I can't. So I'm not even going to worry about it.
Right. Well, let's go back in time, Cheryl. Let's go back to early this year, late last year. When you went to court and the other person was in there, this other person who put the protection order has claimed, and you know about this, that you've stolen some notes, or your legal representation took some notes away from her in a courtroom. Now, doesn't the courtroom have cameras on? If so, where is the proof that you took, or whoever you have, took away this person's notes from a notebook? And
that's the first I ever heard about this. And truthfully, I didn't look to see if there were cameras in the courtroom. So there could be out in the hallway. I didn't look for them. So I don't know if they were there or not.
Courtroom have cameras everywhere.
Okay, well, if they were there, I was not aware of it because I wasn't looking for them.
Right. Inside the building and outside the courtroom, they've got cameras everywhere. So if there's any proof to this allegation, there will be video footage of someone taking these notes from her, whoever it was she claimed to be.
I assume that there are cameras all over the place. You know,
there is.
Yeah.
It's a federal building.
There was a security thing to walk through, and it was not located right when you come in the building either. You have to go to your destination in the building to go through a metal detector, take everything out of your pockets, what's in your purse, take everything out. You know, they check you. And then, you know, you're already into the building where you need to be in that building before you go through a detector. And I thought that was a little insecure, but
it's the same here in Australia, Brenda. You walk through the front door of the courtroom, or the courthouse, I should say, and you're already inside the building before you go through the metal detector.
Yeah. See, in my county, you go through the metal detector the minute you walk in that door.
Yeah, well, see, you go through a door here in Australia, right? And you turn around a corner in some cases, and around the corner is the metal detector. Before you even get into the court gallery or where all the other courtrooms are, you've got to walk through a metal detector.
Our courthouse has the metal detector right in the entrance, and it's part of the entrance entering the building.
Right. No, that's some here too. Some magistrate courts here in Australia, as soon as you walk in the door, they've got the security ramp where you put your belongings out of your pockets on a tray, and then you put that on the tray that gets pushed through, and then you walk through the metal detector. But the main one here in Adelaide, the magistrate court or the law court, you want to call it, here in Adelaide, the main one, you got to walk through a door first before you get to a metal detector.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I mean, for me, I've been to court many times for duty, jury, and all that, and I understand it. I get it. It's a security thing. I get it. You know, but But the question goes back to, did you take any notes or did you steal any notes from this person that made the protection order?
Absolutely not. But what I did do was I was involved in a chat group with Eric and Lori. And Eric and I had been talking about laws and the protection order and things like that in private. There were a lot of questions about it, and I shared the photocopies of the actual protection order that was handed to me by my sheriff. And these were the papers that were faxed from Ohio to my sheriff and handed to me, and I signed for them. The sheriff also signed that these were the papers I was given. And those are the papers that I had shared with Eric and Lori. And I think, I'm not sure, now this is a guess, that Lori is involved with this conspiracy, telling the plaintiff things like that. That is the only thing that would make sense to me about stolen court papers.
Well,
I have that opinion. It's a speculation. I'm speculating. I have no idea what papers could have been stolen.
Right. Now, I'm not going to speculate either, but you probably understand my standpoint on what you just said there about Lori. You will probably understand my standpoint. No speculation. I'm not making a speculation. But as you know, Lori doesn't speak to any one of us anymore. She does talk regularly to the person that made the protection order. So you put one and one together, you can get where I'm coming from.
It's just to create chaos and harassment, and it is just so unnecessary.
Right.
And what they're doing, what Lori's doing like that isn't healthy. It isn't mentally healthy. It opens a doorway to drama and this basic YouTube soap opera.
Unfortunately, she has became the person she hated. Like she said to me and Eric and Damien when we had her on the show, she doesn't even know herself anymore. And she broke down crying. She has become her own worst enemy by being impacted by this drama. She had put herself in this place. No one done it for her. She did it herself.
Can I elaborate on that?
You can, but that's my standpoint.
I understand where you're coming from. Do we understand what it's like to be in the other person's shoes?
Yes, I do. Yes, well, let me answer that question. Yes, I do. I've been in a mental institution. I've been in jail for things I haven't done in the past. So yes, I had lived in another person's shoes. But the thing is, when it's bluntly obvious and it's staring right in front of myself, I'm not talking on behalf of anybody else. I'm talking on behalf of me. When it is staring right in the front and it doesn't add up, you just gotta stay. 1 minute you're with us, next minute you're against us. What was the downfall in between? What made you decide to do the things you're doing right now?
And Jamie, we can't judge that point.
Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not judging her as a person. I'm judging her on her behavior. There's a difference. I'm not judging her as a person. I'm judging her on her behavior. There's a difference, a massive, massive difference.
The only way I can describe it is something that I can relate to and something I have experience with in my own life. And,
But why go to the people that you hate? Why go back to the people that you were spewing your garbage out on freaking, even as a private chat or video? She was doing this for months, not months. She was doing it for freaking years. For years, 5 years almost. She was doing the exact same thing that she would accuse us of doing. Right? Every one of us. She accused every one of us of what she was doing. And yet, she went back to those people. That's the problem. She went back to these people that she was talking crap about. It doesn't make sense. And even she said she doesn't know herself. She broke down crying on this show in front of Eric, myself, and Damien. She does not even know herself. Do I feel sorry for her? There's only so much you can be sorry for before it gets too much. You just got to let them go. And yet, what is the major problem about her is she said that she wanted all this drama to stop live on this show. Within 12 hours afterwards, she went back on her word and she did the exact same thing she did before. Just keep sticking the knife in. I'm not offended by it, but I'm just calling her out on her bullshit. Don't try to come here and try to cause peace because it doesn't work anymore. We give you the platform. I'm not talking about you, Brenda. I'm talking about these people. We give them.
Jamie, are there any more questions you have about?
Yeah, I do.
Because I don't want to be involved in a bash fest.
No. You don't. I just want you to put your cotton wool in your ears. You don't need to listen to that bit. Right.
So, anyway. It's you've been over these things on your prior shows, and
people like it.
It's sad. To me, I'm an outsider, and I'm looking in this box of people.
Right.
That have got their claws out for each other.
Yeah, I know they do, but we're not. We make jokes. You know this, Brenda.
Yeah, Lori and I have had our problems. I don't even look at her anymore.
I don't even look at her anymore. I just make parody videos as a whole. This is me. I'm a sense of humorous guy. I'm not angry at them. I'm not mad at them. I'm just humorous. Damien,
this behavior is not normal. When people have an outing, they exchange a few words, it's over, they move on. But the YouTube drama is continued for how many years? It's not normal.
I know it's not normal. And this is why we're doing what we're doing on YouTube Court. You want to bring the drama to YouTube Court? This is the only show you're going to be doing it. On our main channel, like Southern Truth and the Sentinels of Truth and whatnot, none of what we're talking about here on all the drama is going on on that channel anymore. We're going to talk about the genocide here in Australia, the bushfires and all that. We're going to expose the world government and stuff like that. More so, what we always have. All the drama, we're going to make parodies on YouTube Court. That's what this is all about.
Oh, right there. You said it. You said, we gotta. Who said you gotta? Why do you gotta? Why? Why do you gotta?
Why do we gotta?
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you why. Because I can guarantee you after this video is all over and done with, you watch the attack come out left, right, and center. But we laugh at it. See, this is the thing. They want a response off of their video. Our response is making a parody of them.
Okay, so it's YouTube drama, you guys. Do you guys agree to go back and forth like this?
It's hilarious. We do it. My answer to this to you, Brenda, is we do it in a humorous way. We don't slander them. We're not threatening them, right? We make jokes about them. We're having a laugh. We're having a good time. A lot of these people don't understand what we do.
As long as you are happy and you like what you're doing, fine. And you're not hurting anybody.
We're not.
Fine.
Seriously.
But it seems like one side hates it, but they're they'll get on there and call you names and then talk about you calling them names, and it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And we just laugh at them. That's exactly my point. They slander us, they call us filthy names and whatnot. Yeah, I said some dirty stuff, but hey, it's all out of my sense of humor. I'm not causing harm to them, but what I see is we use words, and those words can tend off a trigger for them because we're having fun. No one is getting hurt physically or mentally or whatever. No one is getting hurt. We're not harming anyone. We're having fun. And that's all we ever tend out to be. Now, let me ask you a question. We go back to the topic at hand.
Okay.
You said that you got a draft copy of your protection order. The one that's on the screen now, is that the final order?
Yes.
All right. Can you bring up, or I don't know if you've got time to, can you bring up the draft of the order?
The entire draft of the final?
Well, the one that you got signed by your sheriff.
Oh, that was the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I could, but it would take some time to get to it.
Yeah, it's okay, but I'm just trying to say, would this help you in your court? And because
No, it really wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't be productive.
okay. Well, this leads me to my next question. And I want you to really open up here because this is your platform and you asked to come on this show. Can you go through the personal strain that it has on you and your family by getting attacked by these people, especially the person that made the protection order?
What in specific do you want to know?
Anything that you can talk about. How much personal strain has this been put on you and also your family? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, they have gotten your family involved in this, haven't they? Especially the person that made this protection order.
There were threats.
Yeah, the threat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to get your family involved. Go after your family. Can you talk about that?
There's threats. The pictures of grandchildren were stolen that were never in the public domain and distributed around things like that. And we don't know what the motive is. Their school teachers had been followed on Twitter, and the gym coach posting pictures of the kids in the pool. We don't know the motive, but there's a lot of things that were conversation, I should say, that were exchanged between me and the specific person that leads to believe that it's possible there's trafficking involved.
Mm-hmm. So this question,
and this is not the plaintiff, by the way. I just want to put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah,
It's an acquaintance with the plaintiff and is a person who had contributed to has contributed and sort of was involved with me before I knew what was going on with this protection order. She had become an acquaintance,
mm-hmm.
and then I was automatically targeted because there was a big fight back then.
Yeah, and you're getting targeted by more than one people.
Yeah.
I can name the names if you want me to, but I'd rather not.
Jamie, you weren't there though.
No, but I've got a rough idea who they are.
Would it be, would it solve anything, any issues? Is it anything that's not been put out already? I mean,
Well, they've been going on their channel doing. Let me put it this way.
but what they do on their channel and they talk about.
No. I'm talking about the person who put the protection order on it. I know who the person is, and what this person done is gone around like a parade, like she won first prize in a beauty pageant. You get what I'm saying? She's all over the moon. And any little bit and pieces that she can find to personally attack you, she would do that. She's trying to weaponize this protection order by using her YouTube channel.
We're aware of that.
Right?
We're aware of that, yes.
I am aware of that, and obviously you're aware of that. But
it's obvious.
Right? I'm aware of that because she's been attacking myself and Eric and everybody else. But at the same token, she's not the only person that's been attacking you. And it might not have to do with the protection order. It might just have to do with you as a person. All right? That leads me to this question. What have you done to these people for this to fall out the way it has? Because it's a two-way street here.
I don't understand your question. Say it again.
What have you done to these people to do this, for this to be falling into place? With all the personal attacks that you've been getting, a protection order in place, blah blah blah. It's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. Take two to tango. What responsibility do you have, and what have you done for this to happen? Have you done anything to these people? Anything?
Look, as far back as I can think, I really do think it was a personal vendetta between me and another person that's really not even the plaintiff. It's a theory as to why all of this is really happening, because they're a group of friends that protect each other.
But another person has got involved in it. That became a personal vendetta. You might not have a personal vendetta against this person, but she obviously did, especially when you came on the show and she left the show. You know who I'm talking about.
I'm lost. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't. You gotta.
I'll give you the initials off a YouTube channel. TA. No, TC. TC. Sorry, TC. You know who TC is.
All right, I can say this, that there are 3 other people that appear to be acting and saying things as if they own this protection order.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the ones who took out a protection order.
Right.
All right. And these are all people who are connected.
Yes, they are.
You know, they're all acquainted with each other. And they act like they have a protection order.
They do. And that, all right, answer this question. How many protection orders do you currently have on you right now?
1 civil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because, well, someone else had a problem with me, and that's it.
Right.
I'm not a criminal. I've not been charged with anything criminal.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. There's a personal vendetta against you, not the other way around. I know that you and this person made this particular order. You've got some issues, but with the other people that are getting involved, you're not responding to them. And that pissing these people off because they keep freaking talking about it. Now, is it possible that the person that made this protection order is trying to weaponize it in such a way that to get her friend or foe involved.
Jamie, we're going to have to let a judge and a team of attorneys make that decision. I can't answer that.
What I'm saying is the person who made this protection order, and Eric has said the same thing, she has weaponized this. She's getting other people involved as well. And it's plain hindsight.
Yeah, well, yes, it does look like it, but when it comes down to it, a judge has to make that determination.
I get that, but is there another court appearance coming up shortly or not in the new year?
I can't elaborate on that.
Okay. I'm assuming there is. That's just my opinion. Yes, but I know you can't answer some of the questions, Brenda. I understand it, but for me and Eric and a few others that are looking at all of this, it is bluntly obvious what is going on. I know you can't say or speculate anything, but it's blatantly obvious, right? Now, I said at the top of the show, a protection order is very, very similar to a restraining order or an apprehension violence order, right?
It's a very serious
piece
of paper.
It is, right? It is. And I've got a cousin who worked in the federal police here in Australia, right? The federal police, right? Which is the top ranked law officials here in Australia, right? So I know law background, especially when it comes to Australia. But the thing is, most of the law that is put in place with an order is very similar to what America is. Unfortunately, Australia's got no guns, so you can take that one out of the thing. But at the same token, you're not supposed to respond or engage to the person that made the order. And also, the person who made the order not supposed to engage or respond to you.
Well, this is not this piece of paper is not a toy. It's not drama. This is serious.
Yeah, I get that.
And you know, I know that a lot of these people are constitutional, Second Amendment people, but in my life, personally, me, all right, when, you know, get rid of the protection order, forget about everything. Our Constitution, let me look at that. We have our amendments.
Yeah.
The Second Amendment doesn't affect me. I don't care about it because, frankly, I don't like guns. And a lot of people ain't gonna like to hear that. But that's just me. I'm not a gun person.
Yeah.
All right, so that is number 8, I don't even give a shit about.
No.
Bottom line. I mean, people they love their guns, but that's them, not me.
Well, not only that, I just read the paragraph under number 8 where the box is not crossed off. The respondent shall turn over all deadly weapons. It doesn't necessarily have to be a gun. It could be a knife. It could be a hand grenade. It could be any.
My hand can be a deadly weapon. You want to cut it off and take my hand?
Exactly. You know? So I don't know why she keeps saying that you can't do this, you can't do that, unless the judge have ordered it. Therefore, she is the liar. That's why Eric looked it up. That's why Eric.
I can't agree with you at this point. I can't make those kind of judgments or decisions.
I'm not asking you to,
because we don't know how the other person sees things on their side of the computer.
But like I said, yeah, I understand it, son. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm not asking you to put your opinion across.
Okay.
I'm voicing my own opinion. Eric has voiced his own opinion.
Right.
We both
too.
Yes. We both believe, Eric and I, that Brenda, not Brenda, the person that has made this order is weaponizing it, right? And getting other people involved to do the weaponization for her as well.
Oh, let me elaborate on that. I've been accused of that too. When, like right now in this scenario, you're voicing your opinion. Other people have done shows voicing their opinion. And it is said to be that I'm encouraging. And that's number 7. Number 7 is checked.
Yep.
And this is a very important topic.
It is.
Now, if I am ever, they have been, when I say they, it's a group of people have been trying to entrap me in many different ways. In many different ways.
Huh.
And it goes back to a vendetta with somebody who did not even make this protection order happen. Okay. But she was also involved. The person who don't have a protection order on me, who has the vendetta, has been involved very closely in trying to entrap me. Now they make up things that they want me in prison. I've had that threat since the beginning. Since the beginning. She wants me in prison. One person who does not have this protection order has made that threat hundreds of times over the last 4 years. 3 years, actually, 3.
And I think I know the person you're talking about.
We don't want to talk names. I don't want to give anybody a bad reputation. I just,
Well, let me say this, Brenda. Let me say this, and this is no speculation, right? You can say it is, but it's not, right? But this is no speculation.
No, this is a fact because the people said it themselves.
Let me say this, right? What I'm about to say is not a speculation, right? The person that made this protection order that is on screen has stated that you, Brenda, stole papers from her. That's not a speculation. That is from her, the one that made this protection order, that you personally, Brenda, stole papers from her. That's not a speculation.
Correct, but I can't elaborate on that. I don't know what paper she's talking about, so I can't elaborate anything.
Right.
But if we go back to the other topic here, number 7.
Yeah.
Am I encouraging you to harass anybody?
No. I do it on my own accord. It's got nothing to do with the protection order. Got nothing to do.
I'm ready to defend myself on number 7.
Right.
Because I have got every single conversation where I have specifically asked people to leave this plaintiff alone. Do not harass her. We see what she's doing. Don't harass her.
We don't harass her.
And I am ready to go to court on number 7 anytime. They want to see, they think I'm paying people. Ready. I am ready.
Well,
because that is happening.
Well,
none of it is happening.
Are you aware, Brenda, that they want to take Eric to court on number 7?
No.
Right.
But I can't see that's their thing with Eric. That's not pertaining to me. But I have told everybody, and I have got copies printed out, and I am ready to go. Dates, times. I specifically told anyone I'm acquainted with don't harass.
I don't harass.
They're trying to entrap me.
Yeah.
And I have copies of them conspiring to do this.
Right.
And I don't have just one incident. I have many. And that's why it took so long, so many years for this to be exposed.
Yep.
They had to expose themselves.
So you do not know when this order is run its course. You don't know how long this order's in place for. You don't know nothing about that.
I heard it was permanent.
Okay. And say, when we get an order here in Australia, you can't move from the state. Is that in the same place for you? You can't leave the state while this order's in place?
No, I can go anywhere except near the plaintiff.
Right. Here in Australia, once you get
like that.
Right. Here in Australia, when you get an order like this, you can't leave the state. Let alone you leave the country. You can't leave the state. So I'm just asking.
There was never anything physical. I mean, it's internet drama.
Yeah, well, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical. Someone can accuse you now, as you know, of anything just by saying, get, you know what, right? You can tell them to go and get F and they will do something like this, right? Or you can look at them in the wrong way and you can get a protection order. It doesn't have to be physical. If a person doesn't like you nowadays, they will make up any excuse to frickin' defame you.
Right. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. I agree with you there. And I'm not the only person.
Right.
This is happening every day.
It does.
And I have a theory about that too. Do people want to fight against a corrupt politician and a corrupt government?
Yep.
But do they realize they're paying into it? They're allowing it.
Here's a difference. Yeah, let me elaborate on that. Here's the difference between Australia and the US. Australia is compulsory to vote. So therefore, the Australian citizens are prisoners under the political system. We have no say in the matter. Once you turn over the age of 18, you must vote. Otherwise, you get heavily fined or you go to prison for it. Right? In America and the UK, now check this out. We're under the British ruling. Right? In Great Britain, it's not compulsory to vote. You have to register to vote. They just had their election. They just recently had their election. In America, it's not compulsory to vote. You've got to register.
See, that's one of the freedoms of America. I mean, people take the word freedom, and they don't even understand it. Those are political freedoms that we have.
Right. In Australia, we don't have a political freedom. Therefore, Australian citizens are prisoners underneath the political system. Therefore, you've got people like myself, Max Egan, and a few other people are trying to stand up and rally against the corrupt government because, as you know, Australia is the dumping ground for the New World Order. Right? They're already taking away our water supply here, and we've got bushfires here. Genocide is going to happen in the next 10 years. Agenda 21's in full swing as we speak, but now we've got Agenda 2030. You get 10 years from here on in, Australia and the people in Australia will be wiped out because we don't have water to drink. They had sold our water for $5.3 billion to a foreign investment in China, right? But we've got dams and wells here in Australia that hold the water, but the government has been sucked in by the foreign corporations, they won't release the water to the people of Australia. That's why I'm standing up against corrupt government, because I'm not going to be forced on a political system where I'm a prisoner of.
Well, that's where they, now listen to this. This is where they took religion out of government. Water is our God-given right.
It is.
And since the beginning of time, people migrated and traveled because of the water.
Right.
The water that made the borders in our United States. They based all of our bordering states according to the water.
Right.
Water, our God-given right, has become a commodity of control and greed.
It is. The water now has become black oil for the corporate government and the corporate bodies of the foreign corporations.
Well, let's think back. I think it was Obama. I
Yeah.
remember him doing a speech once where bridges were collapsing. It was right after we had a lot of bridges collapse. He says, now he could have been quoting from a prior president's rule or the agenda, okay? But he says our entire infrastructure must be replaced. And that was worldwide.
Right.
So in the rebuilding of the infrastructure, it just doesn't stop at our roadways and bridges and things. It's our power.
Yep.
Our electricity, our heat.
Yep.
Everything, our housing, everything is being
Yep.
rebuilt to accommodate a new world with technology.
Yep. Exactly right. You're exactly right. And I've been doing the same thing, spreading the word out here in Australia on the streets and whatnot. But you think people pay attention? No. You know why? Because they got so comfortable with the political system, they think that, oh, well, follow the masses. No. I'm an individual. I don't follow the masses. I go against the grain in most of my life.
Yeah.
I am a rebel. I will say this honestly. I am a rebel. Right? I go against
I'm
the
a
grain.
rebel too, but I'm also a free thinker, and I want to understand what's
The thing is, I always understand before I do my actions or speak my words. I always understand. And like we're talking about the protection order, I understand it because it's just like the law here in Australia. But when it comes to what you were saying, Brenda, about speculation, the stuff that I say and the stuff that Eric say, we are telling you right now, this is not speculation. This has come from the person who made this order. They're accusing you of stealing papers while you're in the courtroom. That ain't no speculation. But I know you can't respond to that because it might jeopardize.
Well, like I can say that if this is in fact true, we'll have to go take it back to court then, won't we? It belongs in court, not YouTube drama.
Exactly.
If they're going to use these things like this as YouTube drama, then is it true or not? When it actually belongs in a courtroom, not being used as commodities for YouTube drama on my life.
Right. And I can say honestly, I'm not creating the drama for you. I'm only giving you the evidence so you can speak on behalf of what I question you on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't question it, whether that will jeopardize this protection order, I'm all for it. You know, if you can't answer the questions because you may jeopardize the protection order, don't answer the question. I'm not here to put any pressure on it. It's your free will. If
Well,
you
my
can-
life is not a toy.
I know.
Not.
No, but you get where Eric and myself are coming from. I'll say this.
I don't know what really is going on with Eric because, um,
He's working. He's working.
yeah,
working.
and I'm working, and we're all in our own lives off
Right.
of
Right.
YouTube, and
Yeah.
Eric and I haven't really talked in depth of what's going on. We communicate a little bit here and there when we have time, but it's not very often.
Well, I'll say this. Eventually that is going to happen. Eventually that will happen. But
Yeah.
you've got the time's gotta meet together, you know what I mean? The time's
Well,
gotta
even you and I, how long has it been since we talked? How long?
Well, like I said, and I said this to you privately, we had our differences because of what happened in the past with this freaking chat room.
Damien, we still have our differences. Am I harassing you?
Hey, I'm public enemy number 1 now, not Eric.
No, you can't take my place. I'm number 1. I'm the woman. I'm number 1.
Yeah, but
you?
well, let me say this. Have I or have I not showed you respect?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you've never harassed me. We always have our differences. We have a lot of differences.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell right in this broadcast we have differences.
No, I'm not saying I have a difference in this broadcast. I'm just trying to state here that what I'm saying on behalf of this protection order, the person who made this protection order is weaponizing. I know you can't answer that, but I'm just giving you the facts here. It's not a speculation. It's an actual fact that what she has said and stated to the public, you might not be aware of it, but Eric and I are. Right? She has stated in public of what she's been doing.
But it's yeah, well, maybe those things should be addressed in court and not in the public domain like this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So therefore, now I want you to help me out here because seriously, when an order does get put in place, it worked both ends of the fence here, right?
I know that I have said in the past that it doesn't give the person a piece of paper to continue to harass anyone.
That's what I'm saying. And that what is she doing? She's not okay. In a way, she's not directly harassing you as per se.
Okay, but then it's my position to take her to court. It's my position to do that then.
Well,
it's my decision, and if I feel like that's being done, I need to take it to court. And I need to pay into the corrupt system.
Yep. I know.
And the system is corrupt.
It is.
And when our leaders are corrupt,
it is.
We're going to be corrupt.
It is. But I will say this. You have got every freaking right to take this person to court. If you feel
or I can just carry on with my life.
Well.
And you know.
Say,
and not even look at this crap. It's drama.
It is, but I want to give you some encouragement here. And whether you take it or not, it's up to you. But I want to give you some encouragement and probably some words of wisdom. Even though you are older than me, but I can give you some wisdom. Right? If you want to continue to fight for your rights, your God-given rights, and what you believe is true within your own heart, you should fight this. You should take this person to court, because if you feel that you've been victimized, or not victimized, been violated according to the order, you can take this person to court if you shall please. Yes, you've
Correct.
got to,
Yes, I agree. I could.
yeah,
I can pick and choose my battles too.
yeah, you can.
I just
But a
battled
lot,
cancer
yeah, but
myself, and that was my priority.
yeah, but unfortunately, we know what the corrupt system is all about. You got to
Yeah.
go through. You got to go through a lot of hoops and obstacles just to get your point across, or even your case heard. It's like a kangaroo court. You'll be hopping and skipping all over the place.
Yeah.
Now,
But for the last months, my focus and my priority are on my own self, and I had to battle cancer myself. Do you think I'm going to go engage in someone else's drama at that time?
no.
All right.
But would they use this episode saying that you are engaging?
Pardon?
Would they, well, the person that made the order, would she think for you being on this show tonight with me is a form of engaging with her?
I have no idea how she would think, and it would take a judge to make that decision.
I will say this. You don't have to say it for me. I will say this. I can guarantee you by the time all this is done, this episode, I can guarantee you the person that made this protection order is going to trying to accuse you of encouraging this person or me or anybody else.
Well, that's why I stated I don't want to be involved in a bash fest. I came on here to talk about my opinion on the gun law.
Exactly.
And, elaborate on a few other things.
Exactly. And I'm with you on this. Right? But even if you just came on this show to talk about Australia or talk about sport or music or anything, right? You're going to be accused of something.
Right? That's YouTube drama. Yeah, it's YouTube drama.
Right? You're going to
try and change things for their shows, for their clicks, for their power, their control. And I'm not saying any one specific person, but that's YouTube dramatics.
It is.
This is YouTube, and there's all different kinds of genres here. There's murder, mystery, fiction, nonfiction, news. And people pick and choose what they want to do with their channels, what kind of content they want. And a lot of people cannot make their own content. So they have to make other people their content. And if that's what people are into, that's what they're into. That's fine. That's their freedom. I'm into something else. I want to create my own content. And that's what I want to do. That's life. We're all different.
So as we talk about this protection order, is there anything more you need to add onto this, or you said it enough, or because
we could debate this all day, Jamie. I mean,
no, not well. Hey, I'm not debating you. I am not debating you, but what I'm saying is to protect yourself, right? I don't want you to answer any questions.
To protect myself, I have attorneys.
Yes, you do.
And not the kind of attorney I had last time. In fact, there's sorry, sometimes I gotta chuckle and laugh.
No, because
that attorney that I had, that was the only guy who would even take the case out of. I called thousands. I'm not kidding. I think I called every attorney in that state, and he's the only guy. And I knew right away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I'm stupid. I knew right away. He's just out for the money. Yeah. And we have another thing. He wouldn't listen to me. He had his own agenda. And I know what happened. All right. And don't think for a minute that I'm just going to let that slide by. Mm-hmm. All right. I have a bigger case with that state than I do with any individual on YouTube. Bottom line.
Yeah. But I can tell you right now that until all this is over, right, it's going to continue. The drama, like I'm not causing the drama. I'm talking to you about this freaking protection order, right? But what I'm saying is the drama that's on YouTube, it ain't going to stop because I can guarantee you.
No, it won't.
I can guarantee you. Once this episode is all over and done with, you watch the knife comes out. You watch. I can see it a mile away. And this is,
Jamie, they have a person. If they want it to stop, they will stop. If they don't want it to stop, they will continue. We are in control of ourselves.
Yep, and I like having a laugh, and that's me.
I love the laugh. I mean, and you really do have to laugh at the dramatics of this because it's so far out there. It's just funny. It all does really boil down to a dog and pony show here on YouTube.
Right, it is. And like I said, if I do want to come out here and scream down the microphone and that, I can. But
right, this is what you choose to do.
I choose to be a humorous person.
I chose to come on today. I chose that option. I could come on today. I had the choice. Either I wanted to or I didn't. I chose. I wanted to talk about this gun law. It's something that doesn't even affect.
Right, and
guns. I'm not a gun person.
No, and like I said, I appreciate you coming out here. You have a platform and you want to talk about it because there are certain people, especially the person that made this order, been talking about it, and you've got to some way defend yourself.
Well, that's what that person chooses to do, and what people choose to do, they're going to do it.
Right.
They have choices to do what they do or not.
Right. Well,
after the show today, I'm going to go paint. It's what I choose to do. I might video it. I might not.
Well, what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to have a midnight snack, listen to some music, and then hopefully fall asleep.
Well, I'm actually looking into these fires in Australia since I've seen that on the Sentinel show. I've been thinking about it ever since, and I started to do a little research on it myself. Those things I did share with Eric. And I'd like to talk about those things too and compare them to some of the issues that we see here in the States too.
It's a bit similar to what you guys cope in California with the wildfires and that in California. But this one in Australia, this is one of the biggest fire in history.
Yeah.
In history. And because the continent is so damn dry, this fire ain't going to stop anytime soon. It is so dry. Now, do we control energy weapons here in Australia? Seeing these fires over the last couple of months, I am now freaking convinced that we are using some form of energy weapons here. Because
I have a question about that, Jamie.
Yep.
I had recently found where they're trying to accuse the firemen themselves on setting some of these fires so they can get overtime. Is that true?
Yes. So see, now, just yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? The firefighters that fighting these fires, more than half of them are volunteers, right? Volunteer firefighters.
Correct.
But they have now been ordered, right, $6,000 each in compensation for fighting these fires. The fire hasn't stopped. So what is $6,000 going to do? They still got to go out the next day to fight the firefight. Right?
I think because being volunteer is an incentive. If you go out and volunteer, you will pay you.
Well, that's the thing. Talk about volunteer. When we went to World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, the Korean War, all that, nearly every soldier that fought alongside you guys, America and Britain, were volunteers. Volunteer soldiers. Right? Volunteers that went to war. Volunteers sacrificing their own life and their livelihood to fight for what is right. And they were volunteers.
Yeah,
When
they
they
should not accept there should be no obligations when you volunteer something. You
Right.
don't volunteer something and expect people to be obligated.
Exactly. But here's the thing. When the soldiers came back from Vietnam here in Australia, every single one of them got spat on. They couldn't even march. Like you guys have, you have Memorial Day marches for
Yeah,
the.
no. That's
have-
their political agenda.
Yeah.
That was the opposite side, the activists who are
Yeah.
anti-war and spit on the people because they didn't believe the same way.
Yeah,
And a lot of these people went to war under a false pretense as well.
every country did. Every single country
Right.
that went to war was going there under a false flag agenda, propaganda.
And did they
Hitler-
know it? If they would have known it, would they have went?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because Australia was one of the youngest countries that went to war. Like, we became a federation in 1901. We were founded in 1788, right? We were founded as a country, right? But to have a proper government as a federation, 1901. How many years after 1901 did World War One started?
Yeah, but war is even before that. War is biblical.
Yeah. Wars were before that, but for Australia to be part of the war after it became a federation government, because I don't know if you know much about the Australian military history, but I'll say this before we wrap it up. We, Australia and New Zealand, right, we call the ANZACs, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, right? I'm not beating my own drum. This is the facts. This is why I love Australia so much. And I'll give you some military history. We went to Beersheba with 800 horsemen. 800 horse. Right? We had to take the walls at Beersheba before nightfall. If we did not take that, we will look at the biggest disaster in military history. Now, if you go into the history before the 800 horsemen, the Great Crusaders couldn't do it. Napoleon couldn't do it. All these other battalions from the British Armed Forces, they couldn't do it. The reason why it took Beersheba was controlled by the Muslim Turks. And basically what we did, 800 horsemen, we liberated Jerusalem after taking Beersheba for the first time in 1600 years. We took the Muslims out of the control. Only 38 men got killed in the charge of Beersheba, and that was all on horseback.
Wow.
We took over Beersheba, and then we continued on to Damascus and Jerusalem, went up to the river. Right?
Wow.
No other country had proclaimed a victory on the Holy Land of Israel. None. The Bible says, and I'm trying not to misquote it, but I'm pretty sure it says this: the youngest nation will become the greatest nation on earth. And who was the youngest nation at the time? Australia and New Zealand. That's why when a discoverer who didn't actually land a foot, this was before Captain James Cook came on. There was there was a Portuguese settler that was sailing off the coast of Australia's shores who was a Christian. And he proclaimed this name. I proclaim this land to be the great south land of the Holy Spirit. We have never, okay, we got bombed by Japan, but we never had a terrorist attack here in Australia. So too damn far away from everyone. Yes, we do have earthquakes and God knows, but we haven't really been personally attacked since Japan bombed Darwin up in the Northern Territory. Right? But if you go to Israel, you'll see a lot of grave sites with the slouch hat with the emu feather coming out of it, because Australia is so well respected for what we did to Israel. And I'm not being political with the political system in Israel. I'm just saying what Australia had done to Israel. Right?
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's really interesting.
Yeah. If it wasn't for, let me say this, if it wasn't for Australia to be part of World War One, it would have been disaster. It would have been a complete disaster. So thank God, in a way, my great uncle Eli, who was Australian light horseman, did something for Australia, and it's very historic. Very, very historic. What I'll do is, I'll share you a video. It's on YouTube. You go to YouTube and watch the movie, The Light Horseman. It's actually the movie of the Charge of Bathsheba. Right? It's an Australian war movie. It's on YouTube, The Light Horseman.
Yeah, I think I'd enjoy that. Can you put the link? I don't know if there's any chat going on or anything. I'm not paying attention to anything. Can you also put that link in the chat so that anyone else who would be interested in following that would be able to?
What I'll do is I'll do it right now. I've got to get
this. As long as you're sharing, share with everybody.
I'll put it in the chat room. Call The Light Horseman.
That way it'll carry along with this broadcast.
Yep. It's called The Light Horseman. All right. And let's have a look. I've got to get the full thing. So it's a lot of. It goes over almost 2 hours of thing. Don't tell me they've taken it down. Yeah, it looks like they've taken it down on YouTube, but I can give you the charge of Bathsheba from the movie. Right? I'll give you the charge. You might have to download it if you can on a different device. But I'll give you the charge. I'll give you the charge of Bathsheba, yeah?
Okay.
It's from the movie. It's from the movie. Right. I just got to get it for you. Let me scroll back. All right. This is the 9-minute, almost a 10-minute version. Oh, wait. Just let me get it. And Light Horseman. All right. It's in the chat room. I'm going to the chat room. I'll put it in the chat room. It's on the Southern Truth.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jamie. I want to thank you for having me on your show.
That's okay. That's okay.
And addressing some of your concerns. Letting me give my opinions.
Yeah. But just want to let you know that I'm not debating you in this matter. What I'm doing is basically stating my opinion, where it's not speculation. It's basically what we actually heard from the person that made this protection order, and I'm just trying to present that to you, and not spec. I know you can't talk about it. You'd rather this person bring it to court or whatnot, and it should not be mentioned on YouTube. But this person did mention on YouTube, so that's my evidence to you. It's not debating you, or not debating, or just me giving you some evidence on what we know about this.
Well, my goodness, if somebody thinks I stole court papers, they should be bringing this to real court. I mean, you know, they really should pursue these issues. They really should.
Right. And that's why I'm saying the person that made this protection order is weaponizing and using other people to engage in this court battle that's at hand.
Yeah, well, you know, that's YouTube drama.
Yeah, but I think in hindsight, it's more beyond the drama. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you will say YouTube drama, but
stealing court papers hasn't affected my life, so I'm just basically focusing on the things that have actually affected me. And
right,
you know, it's we, like I said, we got to pick and choose our battles. And if somebody wants to do content on their channel that is strictly all about other people and their fellow man and things like that, that's what they choose to do.
Yep.
I can't control that. I can't control the content you want to put out, even though it's about this protection order, and it's even stated in my protection order. Don't, you know, you can't harass that person.
No.
If anyone else chooses to harass them, do they stop and think that maybe I'm not the part of that you and the plaintiff have your own battle going on that don't even pertain to me.
Right.
But the protection order keeps coming in there, and I am aware that they're trying to entrap me a lot to engage in harassment. And that is why I tell everybody, don't engage and involve. If people want to go talk about me, I cannot control the masses.
Right.
Bottom line.
Right.
Bottom line. That's people's own freedom to think, to believe what they want to believe.
Right.
I can't change anybody. I can't change the way people believe. Would I even want to? Hell no. I'd rather paint a picture. I pick and choose my battles.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to do a painting that using the colors that I feel from these Australian fires.
Right.
It's an abstract of art that, you know, when I feel something, usually it goes into colors on a canvas. Oh, also, some of my stuff, I've also heard from other people, and I really wish you guys would just don't bother me with all this other stuff, because now it's been told to me that my paintings are a bloodbath. And I think that's according to a painting that I used recently in a video, or even used part of it, a piece of it, as a banner on my Facebook page. That is actually the painting that I made for Lori, because I had told her, I'm going to do a painting for you. What's your favorite colors? Black and red. And that was the painting with her initials in the middle of the painting, like she has on the channels that she owns. And because of the falling out, I don't, you know, she never received it because everything stopped. I cut off everything when that conflict started. And now that conflict is complete slander.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say on that.
That's okay. Well, thank you for joining us, Brenda. I hope you have a wonderful day. I've got to have a late midnight snack. Well, it's midnight now, so I'm going to have a midnight snack. Listen to some music and go to sleep. And I hope you have a joyful Sunday, whatever you may do. And take care.
Thank you, Jamie, and thanks for having me on your show. You take care too.
That's okay. We'll catch up shortly.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.